The forest around Ifara was not merely dense, it was listening. Travelers who entered without songs on their tongues or offerings on their backs were said to hear lullabies whispered from the roots. But they were not lullabies for the living. They were for the souls that had not yet chosen a side. Between the trees and the sky, between breath and bone, floated the ones tethered too lightly. The in-betweens. Among the people of Ifara, there was a saying carved into the wooden rafters of every birth hut: what is born of flesh must return through soul. It was not metaphor, it was instruction. After Perclotl vanished, stories spread beyond the forest. Traders from Ouida spoke of women whose shadows moved independently. Portuguese cartographers, noting the unnatural silence of the Afara Valley on their maps, labeled the region not with a name but with a symbol, an open mouth swallowing the sun. And yet, within my Fara, the tradition continued unchallenged, unspoken, because the cost of breaking the ritual was too great. In 1734, a drought swept through the region. Crops turned to ash, rivers became scars in the ground. It began after a mother, newly arrived from the coast, refused the swallowing rite. She called it demonic. Her child died on the third night, his skin cold, but his mouth open wide as if still crying. The night after his burial, other children began to dream. They awoke screaming of a boy in white, with empty eyes and no voice, crawling through the thatch of their roofs. He was not violent, only watching, but those children began to weaken. Their breath slowed, their hearts quieted, and by the seventh dawn, they were gone. No blood, no fever, just stillness. As if something had been drained, the elders knew. The soul of the unanchored child had been taken not by spirits, but by hunger. Souls, once unclaimed, do not rest. They seek warmth, and children, it is said, burn hottest. In desperation, the grieving mother performed the rite alone, too late. She swallowed the ashes of her son's shroud, drank his final tears preserved in cloth, but the effect was not anchoring. It was merging. She was found days later, sitting in the market square, cradling nothing, her eyes rolled white. Her voice two layered tones, one older than her own, kept whispering, "I see from behind my face now." She never spoke again. From that day, the villagers began enforcing a second rite, a closing ceremony meant to seal the bond between mother and soul. If not performed, the mothers began to lose time waking with blood in their mouths and sand in their beds, as if something within them was wandering while they slept. One of the midwives, known only as Aju, kept a set of clay tablets hidden beneath her bed. On them were symbols, never spoken aloud, glyphs, said to keep the soul from rising too quickly. She believed that some mothers did not merely carry the soul to protect it, but to nurture its other self, because what lay dormant inside was not always a child. One soul, she claimed, came back older than the womb. It knew names that had not yet been given. It whispered things that made the mirrors in her hut crack. She called that soul Okokolaka, the one who remembers too much. She tried to expel it, but the mother would not allow it. She wept as she held her son, who no longer blinked, and said, "He's not mine, but he chose me, and I am honored." That child lived to the age of 5, then burned. No flame touched his skin, but the inside of his mouth was black as coal. Aju, the midwife, disappeared the following night. In her empty hut, etched into the wood above the hearth, were 4 words burned in from within. Mothers are the altar.